Hi everybody. So for my final project, I decided to do a scrapbook about my experience on the Camino de Santiago. So I really just wanted to make something that really reflected my experience and my journey on the Camino. So this is what the cover looks like. On the first page, this is my intro. I included some pictures of before the Camino, when we first got to Sarria, like some of the first things that we saw, the train station, the passport, the road markers, stuff like that. My thesis is that the Camino impacts the development of the self in terms of learning personal preferences, finding the intersection between religion and spirituality, and evaluating one's life through an external perspective. So that's what I kind of talk about on this page. On the next page, I talk about the first learning objective and how that relates to my project. So essentially how my academic discipline relates to this whole study abroad experience. And here I really just talk about how my Spanish minor is something that is connected to the Camino and this whole trip to Spain. I had the goal before even like coming on this trip and before going on the Camino that I wanted to improve my Spanish and just find ways to practice it as much as possible. And I really feel like I was able to do that, like being in Spain. So that's this page. The next page, the second learning objective, which was gaining an enhanced understanding of the historical, political, and geographical importance of the Camino. On this one, I included some of my thoughts before going on the Camino, and then also some of the research that I did after the Camino. Here, what I thought was cool was just how like globally relevant the Camino is. This picture that I took right here has a bunch of different ribbons that represent almost every country, probably in the world. I don't know, I feel like there's just so many on here. But the reason why I took a picture of this is because it has a ribbon right here with the South African flag on it. And my dad is actually from South Africa. And so again, I feel like it really just goes to show how like there really is a personal connection to the Camino for almost anybody who goes on it. I also talk about in here how the pilgrimage of the Camino has really increased just in the last 3 decades. An article that I read stated that the growth of pilgrimage has increased from 3,000 to 347,000 just in 3 decades. So I thought that was a really cool, interesting fact to add on to here. For the next, for my next learning objective, which was global interdependence. I talked about how the Camino was established as an official cultural heritage site by UNESCO as of 1993. And about how the Camino is really seen as a symbol of European unity. I think most of us saw that quote that was on the ground in Santiago that says Europe was made on the pilgrim road to Santiago. So again, it really just explains how the Camino is connected to all parts of Europe, and about how when people embark on the journey of going on the Camino, they not only accept the journey of self-discovery, but also learning about its rich history and culture. So that's this page. For the next page, I talk about how the Camino contributed to my personal growth. So again, I included some of my thoughts before the Camino and then some of the research that, or not, this actually is not research, this is one of the experiences that I had on the Camino related to personal growth. For the sake of time, I'm not gonna tell the whole story, but I talk about how while I was on the Camino, I had a lot of time to think about my identity as an athlete and a volleyball player, and just about this realization that I had about all of that while I was on the Camino. So this is what this page looks like. These are some of the photos that I included. For the next page, which was Learning Objective 5, recognizing myself in relation to others. I put a bunch of pictures on here, and then again, I have another personal experience that I had on the Camino. That, again, I'm not going to tell the full story just for the sake of time, but this is this page. For my last page before the works cited page, this is also Learning Objective 5, but just another like experience that I had. So here I talk about how on the Camino, again, just with like kind of all the reflecting that I did, I realized that I am the kind of person who likes to do things with people, because on the second day, I made it to the hostel. I was the first one to make it there that day, and I kind of realized that there really is no prize for getting somewhere first, and that I don't need to be in any rush to get there, that the Camino should really be a journey where I feel like I can stop and enjoy things and appreciate them and notice my surroundings. And so I really feel like walking with other people helped me do that, versus when I was alone, I kind of just had the tendency to walk really fast and not really stop and notice what was around me. So on this page, I included pictures with other people just to kind of demonstrate that. And then my last page is just works cited. Again, more pictures. Had coffee every single day. These are us with our shells, and selfies from in front of the cathedral, and this is the kind of archway as you're walking into like the plaza right in front of the cathedral. So that is my whole scrapbook. Thanks for watching. Bye.